Ellie had dreamt of Africa. She loved animals. She read books about lions and elephants. She watched documentaries about the savanna. So, when her parents said they were going to Africa, Ellie was ecstatic. She packed her binoculars and her favorite stuffed elephant, Tembo. Finally, the day arrived. The plane landed. Stepping onto African soil, Ellie felt a thrill. This was her dream come true. The air was hot, dry, and smelled different. It was the smell of adventure. Ellie's family was staying in a beautiful lodge. It overlooked a vast savanna. Ellie could see giraffes eating from tall trees. Zebras were grazing in the distance. Everything felt so alive. That night, Ellie could barely sleep. She was too excited about the adventures that awaited. The next morning, Ellie went on a game drive with her family. The Jeep bumped along the dusty track. Ellie saw elephants, lions, and a leopard sleeping in a tree. She was mesmerized. During a break, Ellie wandered off. She wanted a closer look at some colorful birds. She didn't realize how far she had strayed. When she turned back, she couldn't find her family or the Jeep. Ellie felt scared. She was all alone. Just then, she heard a gentle rumble. A giant elephant emerged from the bushes. He was massive, with long, curved tusks. Ellie was afraid at first, but the elephant's eyes were kind. He seemed to understand she was lost.
This was Tamba, and he gently nudged Ellie back towards the path. With Tamba by her side, Ellie felt safe.
Following Tamba, Ellie came across a group of children. They were playing a game with stones and laughter. A boy, Kofi, saw Ellie and waved her over.
Hi, I'm Kofi, and this is my friend Zahara.
Zahara wore colorful beads and spoke a different language, but her smile was universal. Ellie, even though she didn't speak their language well, learned their game quickly. Kofi showed Ellie how to find water in a baobab tree. Zahara taught her how to identify animal tracks. Despite their differences, they found ways to connect. Ellie learned about their culture, their games, and their way of life. They, in turn, were curious about Ellie's life back home. They spent the rest of the day playing together, the language barrier fading with every shared laugh. Days turned into a whirlwind of new experiences. Ellie learned about the delicate balance of the ecosystem.
My father, who is a park ranger, explained the dangers of poaching. It harms not only the animals, but also the people who depend on the land.
Ellie learned about the Maasai way of life. Zahara's mother showed her how to weave beautiful baskets from dried grass. One evening, sitting around a bonfire, Kofi pointed out the different constellations in the sky.
These stars have ancient stories. They connect us to something bigger than ourselves.
Ellie realized that the stars might be the same, but the stories we tell about them can be so different. Yet, they all connect us to something bigger than ourselves. Ellie started to see Africa not just as a tourist destination, but as a place of wonder, resilience, and ancient wisdom. One night, Ellie was awakened by a strange sound. It was a low rumble, but not like Tamba's. Peeking out of her window, she saw flickering lights moving towards the elephant herd. Her heart pounded. Poachers!
Remember what my father said, Ellie. We have to do something.
Without hesitation, Ellie ran to find Kofi and Zahara. They had to warn the rangers and protect Tamba and his herd.
Ellie, what's going on? Why are you waking us up?
Poachers, Zahara. We need to warn the rangers now.
The three children ran through the darkness, their fear overshadowed by their determination. Reaching the ranger station, they alerted Kofi's father. He immediately sprang into action, gathering the other rangers and setting off towards the poachers.
Dad, hurry. We have to save the elephants.
Ellie, Kofi, and Zahara, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and adrenaline, followed close behind. The rangers, with Ellie and her friends, found the poachers trying to surround the elephants. A tense standoff ensued. Just when the situation seemed hopeless, Ellie, remembering a trick Kofi had taught her, used a fallen branch to create a loud, distracting noise.
Ellie, use the branch. Make some noise.
The startled poachers turned, giving the elephants a chance to escape. The rangers quickly apprehended the poachers. Tamba, safe with his herd, trumpeted loudly, as if thanking Ellie for her bravery. Back at the village, Ellie was hailed as a hero.
Ellie, you're amazing. You saved them.
But for Ellie, the real reward was knowing she had helped protect Tamba and his family. She realized that even though she was young, she could make a difference. The 2 weeks flew by. It was time for Ellie to go home. Saying goodbye to her new friends was hard. Ellie hugged Tamba goodbye, promising to never forget him.
Here, Ellie, we made this for you.
Kofi and Zahara gifted her a necklace with a small elephant carved out of wood. It was a reminder of their friendship and all that Ellie had learned.
So you'll always remember us and the time we shared.
As Ellie boarded the plane, she looked back at the vast savanna, its colors vibrant even under the midday sun. She knew a part of her would always remain there, amidst the acacia trees and the red earth, with the friends she had made and the lessons she had learned. Africa had gotten under her skin and she knew she would be back. Back home, everything seemed different. The city noises seemed louder, the buildings taller, but Ellie carried Africa in her heart. She couldn't stop talking about her adventures, about Tamba, Kofi, and Zahara. She showed everyone her photos and the elephant necklace that she wore everywhere. She even started a blog, sharing her experiences and raising awareness about elephant conservation. Her blog, Ellie's African Adventure, quickly gained a following. People were inspired by her story. They were moved by her passion for wildlife and her commitment to protecting it. Ellie knew she couldn't save all the elephants, but she could do her part. She organized fundraisers at her school. The money went to support the rangers and their efforts to combat poaching. She gave presentations about elephant conservation. She urged everyone to be mindful of their choices and to support sustainable practices. Ellie was no longer just a girl who loved animals. She was a young conservation advocate, using her voice and her experience to make a difference. She knew the journey wouldn't be easy, but every time she wore her elephant necklace, she was reminded of her promise to protect the wild heart of Africa and the magnificent creatures that called it home.